Hey guys, it's Rachel. I'm back with another Voice Teacher Reacts video. Today I'm going to be reacting to Billie Eilish When the Party's Over. This is a live performance that she did, so here we go. I love this song.
Don't you know I'm no good for you?
So something really classic that Billie does is she always has that little bit of vocal rasp, that kind of sound. That vocal fry is very characteristic of her, and then she has a little bit of vibrato that peeks in, but just a touch.
I've learned to lose, you can't afford to.
I love how crisp she is with her diction, but it's a little bit different than the musical theater style that I usually react to, where we're kind of over the top. We would be like, don't. And she's really just a. She gives you just enough diction so it's very clear and you know what she's saying, but she's not going, don't you know. She's going, don't you know, just enough so that you can understand what's going on.
Tore my shirt to stop you bleeding.
Then up there at the top, she really goes into a head voice that she doesn't even, her vocal folds don't even fully touch because it's so breathy. When there's a little bit of space in between our vocal cords is when we get that breathiness. Um, and that's obviously something that's very characteristic of Billie Eilish.
But nothing ever stops you leaving.
See, her vocal folds don't even get almost any closure at the top because she tries to go for the note and she goes, and it almost, like, squeaks out. She doesn't even quite make the pitch, but that's definitely a choice.
Quiet when I'm going home, and I am on my own.
So those notes that you're not fully hearing at the top, I'll go back and rewind so you can hear it again. It's just because her vocal folds are not touching, but it's very clearly a part of her style. As she kind of comes down into the lower part of the phrase, her vocal cords get more closure, and then you're able to hear the tone a little bit more clearly. If she wanted to get more of a strong sound up there, she absolutely could add more air. And support that sound to give it that fullness, but that's definitely not what she's going for, which is totally great. It's very much indicative of her style. So let's listen to that again and just hear how her vocal folds don't quite touch at the top.
Quiet when I'm going home.
She goes, "Quiet." She doesn't even quite get it out. I can't even fully do it because I've been so trained against that, but it's so beautiful.
And I am on my own. And I can lie, say I like it like that, like it like that.
Now down here, she's definitely using a little more chest voice. Now she's not in a full-on belt. She's still really controlling the volume or controlling the amount of air that she's using, but she is more chesty, which is why you're hearing the sound a little bit more clearly than when she was up high. If she wanted to do that up high, she absolutely has the technique to be able to do so. She's just choosing not to.
I can lie, say I like it like that, like it like that.
I like how in the first that she put a little bit of vocal fry. She goes, like it like kind of sound. That vocal fry is really stylistic, but then she did not do it the second time.
Don't you know too much already?
Now here she is singing to the end of the phrase and she's actually using vibrato on every single note, which is a really nice contrast from some of those notes earlier where she was just clipping them. Once again, just showing that she has full technical capability. It's just a matter of what she chooses to do and when she chooses to use those techniques.
I'll only hurt you if you let me. Call
I like how there she made her vowels very lateral. Like when she did the word friend, she was still a little bit breathy, but because she was very lateral, it kind of juxtaposed the breathiness, so you get a little bit more of a clear tone there. I think she's about to do something interesting, so let me back it up.
Call me friend, but keep me closer. Call me back.
Oh, that's cool. So then she goes into this really breathy chest voice. Call me back. Which is obviously a spot that she can do clearly because she did it clearly earlier. Once again, it's just for effect. And I like that the guy singing with her is kind of in a similar range to her as well.
And I'll call you when the party's over.
Yeah, there you didn't even hear a pitch. She goes, oh, oh. Like it didn't even come out. If she wanted it to come out, just a little extra air, but clearly not the choice that she's going for.
Quiet, I'm coming home, and I'm on my own.
That was such a pretty little riff that she did there. And notice here she's really back to that same diction thing she was doing in the beginning, where we definitely can hear the words very clearly. It's just that she's not being over the top with the diction. She's giving us just enough at the front. If you were to kind of talk in a really, really quiet voice, but then just give a little bit of consonant, that's what she's doing.
It's over. Quiet, I'm coming home, and I'm on my own. And I can lie, say I like it like that, like it like that.
Now a little more chest again. I like that she's doing the vocal fry on the word the. It's just very stylistic.
You like it like, say I like it like that, like it like that. But nothing is better sometimes.
Sometimes. I feel like in the style, sometimes they say their T is almost closer to a D. It's almost like they're saying dimes. Sometimes, because the times is like a little too crisp for what they're going for. Also, a side note, I wonder why they did this, but the keyboard he's playing is a Nord, but they've covered it up. And it's got that signature red color. I don't know why they decided to cover it. Maybe a legality issue or something, but amazing keyboard. Side note, anyway, continuing. Perhaps after
Once we've both said our goodbye.
that was cool because she did that entire riff through. It was partly croony, but partly breathy at the same time, and she didn't add any pressure to it as she went, which was pretty cool. So the whole riff, you could hear all of the pitches distinctly, but they were still breathy.
Both said our goodbye. Let's just let it go. Let me let you go.
I liked the first time she said go. It wasn't like a pure go. It was almost like she said go, and she finished the sound on that second vowel that she kind of just added for the for the sake of the word. Stylistically, definitely you don't need an extra vowel in the word go. But then the second time she just sang a normal go. So let's listen to that again.
Let's just let it go.
Go.
Let me let you go. Quiet when I'm coming home, and I'm on my own.
I like that down there because usually it's up in the higher octave, but I like how she did the quiet when I'm coming home. She has this really amazing way of still showing us the core of her voice while being breathy. That is a really tough thing to do. When I'm training my students, we always work on finding core and breath support because that is how the audience is going to really be able to connect with your voice, especially in more classical or musical theater styles. But something about her, it's like you're not fully getting, like, the overtone of her voice if she were to add a little bit more air or a little more weight to the sound, but there's something so special about the timbre and the lightness, and she just really lets it be so nice and easy. Let's listen again.
When I'm coming home and I'm on my own, I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that.
And she's really singing that through a whisper.
I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that.
At the end, she actually added a little N. She went, "Mla, mla." So she didn't even go to the that right away. She kind of added a little N sound. Mla. Yeah, super cool. Billie Eilish is absolutely completely true to who she is as an artist, and I think that is what makes her so popular. I know a lot of people have said, "Well, she can't really sing or she's just whispering." And I mean, partially, yeah, she's whispering a lot of the time, but it's very stylistic and she makes it her own and it's her own song. So who's to say what's wrong and what's right? I really like it and I think it works for her. So awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed this one.